dear friends of love for volleyball, amor por el voleibol. I'm pleased to talk today with a former national player of the United States, 1984 Olympian silver medal, owner of Rocket City Volleyball Club for 20 years, 9 years professional in Japan, All World All-Star Team, USA Volleyball All-Team Great Volleyball Player Award, and among many other achievements. I mean Rose Magers-Powell. Hello, Rose. How are you? Thanks for this conversation and your time.
Thank you so much for having me and bringing me on and talking about the game that we both love, volleyball.
Exactly. Rose, please, first of all, please tell me, when did you start playing volleyball and why did you choose volleyball as a sport?
Well, I was probably in about the sixth grade, and my mom was the PE teacher, and my oldest sister played volleyball. So I would always go up with my mom and them to pick her up from practice, and I would always try to make them come early. Let's go pick up Sandra early so that I could play. Well, the coach, her name was Susie Lynch. She would never let me on the court. She would send me up against the wall and say, hit the ball up against the wall, hit the ball up against the wall. So I hit the ball up against the wall forever, for 2 years even. And she would show me something different to do on a weekly basis. Just, hey, just hit with the right hand. Then she would tell me to hit with the left hand. Then she would tell me to pass. She put my hands together, showed me how to pass, showed me how to set. So then I would have to pass, set, and hit the ball. Then she'd tell me, pass, set, jump, and hit it. And I would do all these things. And I would always want to get on the floor, but she would never let me on the floor. Then they sent the word to my mom, the PE teacher at the middle school, the elementary school, and said they were having tryouts for 7th grade. So I go in this day to my sister's practice and I tell the coach, hey, they're having tryouts. I gotta see if I can hit the ball. And she said, okay, tryouts on Monday. I said, yep, tryouts is coming. So she says, run, jump, and hit the ball. I'm looking at her kind of twisted because I see her telling these other kids how to do this, make this step, make that step. And she's just telling me to run, jump, and hit the ball. So the first ball, I ran, jumped, and hit the ball and just nailed it. And she said, okay, do that again. And I ran, jumped, and hit this next ball. The third ball now wasn't so good. It hit the back wall. I said, well, you kept telling me to hit the wall, so I just hit the wall this time. She says, no, 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 no. You just keep swinging hard. You're going to be just fine at the tryouts. So once I made the middle school team and the season started, a lady from San Angelo, Texas, where my mom was from, came in to watch because Mrs. Lynch had talked so much about me playing volleyball. So she came in and was sitting in the stands, and my mom noticed her and went over to her and started talking to her. And she says, well, what are you doing here? She said, and she coached at the college. She said, what did you do? What are you doing here? And she says, I was told that there's a young lady here that's playing volleyball that's going to be very, very good in the future. And she said, well, which one of them is that? She says, whatever number I was. And she pointed at me. She said, well, that's my daughter. She says, well, everybody's getting big reviews about your daughter playing volleyball, that she's going to be very, very good in the future. And so I guess that was something that she saw at that point. And so that's how I got started playing volleyball. And then as I went through the process of middle school and then high school, and I make the all-star team coming out of high school. And I'm saying this today because I found a note from a girl. Her name was Valerie Earl. She went to Seminole High School. And on the program book, she had wrote a little note on it to us because, we always sign everything for everybody, say, hey, wish you well and all that kind of stuff. Well, on this note, she had wrote, I hope to see you in the Olympics one day. So,
oh, wow.
3 days ago, when I found that, I picked up the phone and called Seminole High School and says, I am looking for this young lady named Valerie Earl that played volleyball there, blah, blah, blah. Well, we have reconnected and we have talked about that and talked about the All-Star game and stuff like that, and talked about how she had went to Texas Tech and I went on to University of Houston, and the love of the game and the passion for playing. And this is where I am today.
Fantastic. It's an incredible story, tell me. And as volleyball keep following us all our life, we keep making friendship, we keep talking to people like you who were so fantastic as a player, as a national player, and we keep making new contacts. It's fantastic. I think it's so great. Um, and tell me, please, and Rose, how and when did you started joining the national team, and how was that sport life and for you and the national?
So I went to University of Houston for 3 years under the tutelage of Ruth Nelson. And then she left University of Houston and went to LSU, and I went with her.
Okay.
And after LSU, the national team came calling to come. So Ari Salinger called and asked me to join the team. And I said, am I coming for a tryout or am I coming as a member of the team? He says, well, it's going to depend on you. He says, physically, your game, I think you can handle it. I think you can make it. He says, I don't know how you are mentally, if you're mentally tough enough. He said, because we practice, 8 hours a day. And I said, okay, well, I packed up all my stuff because I felt like I was mentally strong enough, because being under the tutelage of Ruth Nelson, she, talked about the mental aspects of practicing, many, many hours, putting in time. And so I felt good. So I packed up all my stuff and I went to California. When I got to California, the first practice I remember so vividly, because we come into practice, it was after the new year.
Okay.
And we started practice, and as we went through the practice, we're doing everything, and then Ari Salinger puts me in the hitting line with Flo Hyman and Rita Crockett, the two best hitters in the world.
Exactly.
And he tossed this ball, and Rita goes up and she just bangs this ball. I'm like, okay. So then she tossed the next ball, and Flo goes up and she bangs this ball. I'm like, okay, it's my turn. What am I going to do? What am I going to do? So he tossed the ball. I go up and I bang the ball. I'm feeling pretty good right now. So I go to the end of the line and I'm okay. Well, the national team, that practice was just the start of many, many great practices and many, many hard practices, many, many difficult practices, along with a lot of joy that came along with being on the national team. And being on the national team, we practiced a lot every day from 9 o'clock till about 5:30 or 6. But it was what we were there for. We were there to represent the country as the best team and the best players in the world, in the United States. So I understood that this was a job for us, and it was for us to represent the United States to the best of our ability. And Ari Selinger brought all the great things, and his staff, John Carbelli and Toshi Yoshida, brought all the great things that we needed to do to eventually win that silver medal.
Fantastic. And well, you're telling me right about this. But when you join this team, how do you feel inside of you as this little girl from the school joining a team with so many stars, like as you told, Flo Hyman, Rita Crockett, David Green? What was your internal feeling for this?
That again, that first day of practice, I was nervous.
Mm-hmm.
I was nervous, of course, but I felt like I had been prepared well. I had, been with Ruth Nelson, who had been with the national team. She kind of knew what Ari's philosophy was, how he worked the team, because both Rita, Flo, and I played under Ruth Nelson. So she was preparing us for this.
Mm-hmm.
So I was nervous. And then, coming in with Debbie Green and Sue Woodstra and those other great players, and Paula was, the ultimate. Now I have to step up my game. I have to be mentally tough. I have to be the player that Valerie Earl saw back in the day. Exactly. So it was was nerve-wracking at first. On the inside, I was a little bit nervous, but after I hit that first ball, I was feeling pretty good about myself.
Fantastic. And tell me, beside the fantastic achievement of the Olympic Games in Los Angeles, 1984, what was your most important, most remembered, or maybe most emotional championship? Maybe the Olympics, but do you have any other championship that is in your memory as a fantastic tournament?
I think the Olympics was the ultimate, of course,
Okay.
because now everybody in the world, everybody is watching, and we have to perform to the best of our ability every single ball, every single point, every single moment, and everybody's watching. And so the Olympics by far was the most exciting, but there was other things that was very, very fulfilling to me, and that was being named, the only American to be on the All-Star game, the team, and being able to now play with Medea Lewis, Kumi Nakata as a setter, and having the opportunity to represent now as a world All-Star player against the Olympic champions. That was very, very fulfilling. I mean, we won other championships and they were great too, but being named that All-Star was fulfilling, very, very fulfilling.
Fantastic. I have the opportunity also to talk with the Peruvian players who won also the silver medal in Seoul in 1988. And as we talk with them, and it's my personal feeling, my personal thinking, to earn a silver medal, it's not easy task. Nobody earns or win a silver medal in Olympic Games so easily. So for me, it's a triumph. For me, it's the same as a gold medal. So I think your team, you, Ari Selinger, and all your teammates won a fantastic medal, fantastic win for your country for volleyball. As you are telling me now, being part after for the All-Star game, it's also a privilege. So I congratulate you, because not everybody has this privilege to play at that level. So also for us in Chile at this time, we saw the finals of this Olympics, and we knew a little about USA volleyball, especially from women volleyball. My father was national player from Chile, and he went to Peru in 1982, and he told me about Ari Deringer and your team, but we knew this time very little about you. After the Olympics, we saw many videos, VHS tapes, so we could see more about you and the team. And as I told you before, have also the opportunity to talk with Maria Luis from Cuba, and she told me about you also. And she told me that she was very impressed about the power of the team, the power of the strongness, the height of your players, but also of your kindness as persons, as women, as human beings. So she told me that's true. And for me, as a former player, as a volleyball lover, I found this is one of the great aspects too, to be a good human and to spread this around the world. Not only be a good player, so also be a good human being. That for me is very important, and I'm also very happy to talk to you about this. And tell me, please, Rose, following this conversation about the Olympics or the championships, do you have a team which do you like to play against or not? Or do you, for example, play against China was always a very tough situation. Please tell me what's your memory about this?
Yes, China was always a very, very tough team to play against. We went for years. They would win, we would win. They would win, we would win. They would win, we would win. And then they won the Olympics. Okay, but they were a very tough team, and they competed well. You talked about being kind, and the team was very strong, but we were also good mentors, and we were good people.
Mhm.
You know, Salinger would always make sure would talk about representing. Ruth Nelson always talked about representing, that no matter where you go or what you do, you have to represent not only the USA team, but you have to represent yourself also.
Mm.
And in representing ourselves, we were all good young women that wanted to be a part of the community and wanted people to know that we were not only good volleyball players, but we were good people also. And that culture of being good volleyball players and winning was a great thing. We built that culture. We continued the culture of being good young women off the court also. We had no incidents. We were there to be good volleyball players and to represent our country along the way and have that as a part of us. Now, winning a silver medal is nothing to, in my eye, because that's what I have, nothing to be ashamed of, because winning any type of championship, and when you get to the final match, it is, I mean, it's a blessing to get that far. And to win the gold would have been great. Everybody wants that gold medal. But the silver's been just as blissful as any of the medals. And winning any type of championship is hard work. We go through the whole season and playing for years, playing and winning championships here, winning tournaments there. But when you get to the Olympics, you got 10 days, 10 days to prove yourself. And so we proved ourselves. We got to the finals. We got our silver medal. And now we've walked away, and we are still, a lot of us are coaching and trying to give back and make sure that, the young kids coming through are still getting good skills and understanding that volleyball is a lifelong sport. It's a sport you can play a long time, unless you have knee surgeries and all that kind of stuff. Then you're grounded at that point. Yeah. But it's a lifelong sport at this time. And so we want to bring to and still continue to give back what we gave. Even for the Olympics, we put in a great performance, and we're now all trying to continue to give back to the young, to the college players, and let them know that, hey, volleyball is a lifelong sport. You can do it a long time. Winning championships is great, but at the end of the day, be a good young woman, build a character, the culture, wherever you are, build that culture to be motivated, to be dedicated, be disciplined, and whatever it is you're trying to do at that time.
It's fantastic what you're telling me. And please tell me, Rose, after you played the Olympics, what was about you in the sports? Did you still play in the national team? Do you go to Japan? What was your after Olympics experience?
After the Olympics, I took a contract to go to Japan to play for NEC. And it was a great experience. Absolutely, absolutely wonderful. One of the best. I did not speak the language or anything like that the first year, but after the first year, I was okay. I could speak Japanese at that point after the first year. They had great food, which I did not realize that at the first year, I didn't eat any of the Japanese food. I had hamburger and steak, and that was it. But I never ate the ramen noodles or nothing like that. But then the second year when I got back, I said, I'm going to try some things. So I tried some things, and now I eat Japanese food all the time. But going from USA team to Japan was a great experience. The team welcomed us in. Sue Woodstra went with me at the time, and Flo and Rita went to the company called DIA. And we continued, and I stayed there for 9 years, for 7 years. And then I went to DIA's team. Okay. I changed teams at that time. And then I retired after nine years and came home. going into Japan, it was a great experience for me. I met my husband there, and we have been married now 34 years. We have two sons, William Powell, who played basketball at Seattle U, and he's still in Seattle, and Brandon Powell, who plays basketball here at Alabama A&M, where I am.
Mm-hmm.
So I went to Japan, got married, came home, and now I run a junior Olympic volleyball club called Rocket City Volleyball Club. We have our own building. We train for club ball. We train about 200 kids starting in October to April. And then during the summer, I go and do camps and clinics everywhere. And then I coach at Alabama A&M also. So that has been my life, and I love, like I said, it's a life sport. And now I don't play anymore because I've had several surgeries,
Mm-hmm.
but I enjoy teaching and training right now.
Okay, and not so many ex volleyball players continue to be as a coach. Why do you felt that's what a way for you? Why do you? When was the moment you thought, okay, this could be a life for me, to be a coach, to direct and manage some teams? Why you chose this life?
Well, when I was in Japan, and I would come home during the summer,
Mm-hmm.
and the first summer I came home, I tried to get a job, and no one would hire me. Mm-hmm. So I said, let's do a camp. So I started doing camps and teaching camps in Huntsville, and I liked it. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed watching the smiles on the kids' faces whenever they would accomplish something. I came in the first year I did camp, and I did a camp called Just Say No. Okay. And that was whenever Nancy Reagan was talking about the Just Say No platform. Mm-hmm. So we did this camp, and it was called Just Say No. And it was a 6 weeks camp, and it was $30. So we had about 30 kids that showed up. So, and they were not the most polished players. So we taught them the whole scheme of the game, the setters, how to go from back row to front row to set and stuff like that in a matter of 6 weeks. And from that point on, and you would see those kids about week number 3, they was picking up things. They were understanding what's supposed to happen. They're moving, their skills are getting better. And by the time we got to the end of the camp, those kids were doing great things. So I said, well, maybe I can do this camp stuff and training stuff. So every summer I would come home and do camps and stuff like that. Then my last year, it was my second to the last year, that a group of parents and coaches came to me and asked me to start a club. So I said, okay. So we started the club. I was still in Japan. So when we had our parents' informational meeting, my coach let me fly home. So I flew home to go to the meeting. No one knew I was coming to the meeting. I walk in and everybody is there. Everybody was excited. I talked to them about what we plan to do with the club and for the young girls age 12 to 18, how we were going to do it. They all fell in line with it. And then we had the tryouts. They had the tryouts the next day or so. And then I flew back to Japan. But the coaching staff that was there, one of the ladies that was coaching was named Sherry Hammonds, who, won 10, 12 state championships. She was one of the coaches. Mm-hmm. She and some of the parents and other coaches just took the program and really just kept it intact until I could get back. They did a great job with all those things. So those parents and coaches, I'm truly thankful for, because they really got Rocket City Volleyball Club off the ground the first year. Sherry Hammonds, Gloria Birmingham, they really got the program going. And then I came in and we just kept moving forward. And so we've been moving forward now for almost 30 years with Rocket City Volleyball Club. And we're getting ready to have tryouts now, but we're worried about the COVID. And what's going to happen with COVID right now is very concerning to us, because when you have tryouts, you have 50 kids come in. Well, my gym is pretty good size and it can handle it, but still we have to be worried. And so we're having to make them wear masks. We have some solution that is 6-hour extended hand sanitizer. So that should help us. So, but moving from USA to club volleyball and, stepping out on faith and building a building and stuff like that was very nerve-wracking too, because, you go over to Japan and you're a professional, and then you come home and you're not the professional anymore, playing wise. Now you are a professional master coach to train a bunch of kids to do the right thing.
I admire you very much, because I saw your gym, the Launchpad and internet. It's a fantastic gym, very beautiful, so big and so clean, so with so much light. It's so inspiring for, I think, for many kids around you in your city. It's fantastic. I think what you're doing with your husband for so many kids, to inspire, principally to inspire and to make sports. It's one of the great things for me to do, especially today in this troubled times with so many problems, political, the clinical, or the health problems. So I think sport. I hope and have faith this will be our best solution for these times. And tell me, please. You work there with your husband, and what's your next projects with the Launchpad in your club?
The next project for the Launchpad, I don't know. We're just going to keep doing volleyball. We do basketball in there, and my husband's a mixed martial artist. Okay. So we actually he bought. When we built the building, we bought his business in with my business on one end. And because at first we were going all over the city to rent gyms in the recreation centers, but we stepped out on faith and said, faith is going to get us there. And it has been a true blessing that this building has, still standing. I have great parents in the club that helps me and make sure that we're okay and make sure that things are going well, even in this difficult time right now. Even in this difficult time in March, when we had to shut down because of COVID, the parents were still very wonderful. And then when we opened it back up in June, the kids kept right on coming. They kept coming back because, even when this is all over, volleyball is not going anywhere. It's still going to be a lifelong sport. And so we talked to them about that. Don't stop. We want to keep moving forward. The kids got to still touch the ball to continue to get better. And so they have continued to come and make sure that they're getting better, and we're making sure that the coaches are there for them to continue to get better.
Fantastic. So great to hear this. Tell me, Rose, please, another stuff about how do you see volleyball or especially women volleyball in the United States today, both the level of university, school, or national team? How do you think about this team, the actual team with Coach Kirley as a coach and all this fantastical management and coaches? What do you think about this today?
Well, I think, there are some great players out there right now, and they're big, they're strong, they're bigger than what we were, they're taller than what we were. They have a lot of years of playing up under their belt, a lot more than what we had at that time. And I know Coach will do a good job with putting them on the floor and competing, making sure that they are competing and finding that competitive edge for the team. We have been slowly knocking at the door for that gold medal.
Yes.
And it's time. It's our time. So I'm hoping at this point, I know the Olympics has been pushed back and till next year, but when it do happen again, when the Olympics do show up again and we can play, it is our time. And I hope that Karch and the players on the team at that time realize it is our time. Let's go and get that gold medal. We have stroked at the silver medal for a long time. It's our time. Let's get that.
Yeah. It's a great word. Great word. So Rose, I'm again and again so happy to talk to you because what you're saying, what your vision about volleyball, and to give back to the people, to the kids, the community, for me, one of the most important things in life, because volleyball moves us. It's in our blood. And I'm, as a Chilean, as a South American, I am so happy to see that people like you around the world are making these efforts to keep volleyball in movement, and with, in this case, with your club, with the Launchpad. I only can admire you and send you the best wishes for you, your husband, and all your players, all your coaches. It's fantastical what you're doing. So I want to being ending this conversation, to ask you finally, what your thoughts about volleyball in general and around the world is today, because I have the fantastic opportunity to talk with so many great players that I admire when I was a young player: Brazilian players, Russian players, Cuban players, American players also, from Peru, Argentina, even from Chile. And now with technology, we have this opportunity to talk face to face with people that in other times we never have been able to talk. So tell me, please, what your feelings about this new era of communications between people who love volleyball is.
I think that, with technology now, again, you do get a chance to talk to a lot of people and you can reach out to them and talk to them. And, and they're posting, someone posted a video of Brazil and USA probably a month ago. And they were saying they almost beat the USA team at the Olympics, but we came back at that point. But now, you're seeing all these videos and stuff come out of older matches and stuff like that. And it's just really nice to see because, for us as Olympians and as older people, sometimes out of sight means out of mind. No one knows us anymore. No one sees us anymore. But the technology keeps us alive and people can know who we are and where the history of the game come from. The history comes back way back from 1964, and we're moving forward. Even though we're moving forward, there's still history. And so we too want to make sure that kids understand that there's history, that there's other people playing before you, and we have paid the dues. We have worked hard. We've identified some skills that work and some that didn't work so well, hand positions, stuff like that. And we've all tried all these different things. And just knowing that if I needed to reach out to Medell Lewis, I could find her. Or, if I needed to reach out to Rita Crockett, in which I see her every now once or so a year. But if I needed to reach out to those people, I could reach out to them all over the world, not just, a few people in the United States, but I can reach out to any of those players that, I had the opportunity of playing against or playing with, and just say hello at some time. And I think that technology will also help every team in the country become better players, because there's so many things that the young kids can watch and see how it's supposed to be done, why it's supposed to be done. It's just an educational piece that, back in the day, we didn't have all of that. But now we have these things that can help players get better faster.
Exactly. My personal quest is to, as you told, to honor people like you, so great players, athletes as you, and especially tell the young generation that before them there was a lot of volleyball, so many volleyball, but we didn't have the communication tools for spreading our world, our volleyball so fast and so instantly as now. So as we know each other, thanks to Facebook and technology, I will thank
Yeah.
you again and again, and thank you for your time, for your fantastic words. I will send you many health wishes for this time, for you, for your family, for your club, and I'm very happy to talk to you, and I invite you to keep in touch, to keep sending me so pretty pictures of you and playing with your teammates. And okay, that's what I wanted to talk to you. I'm so happy, and I sent you a big hug from Chile, and I know from all the fans from my side will love this conversation too.
Thank you so much for having me today. It is just, like I said, sometimes we're out of sight means out of mind. And it's people like you that bring us back and put us in the forefront again. And people will know, that we do exist. And we are just, we love the game. We have the passion for the game. We are trying to build a great culture to make sure that volleyball don't ever go anywhere. And the passion and loving the game is something that we want to teach the kids right now, that it is a lifelong sport and we're going to do it a long time. And I think, Ruth Nelson and Ari Selinger, they're still doing it and still teaching and training. And so we're all doing the exact same thing too, just training and making sure that the love of the game continues to grow and the passion continues to grow in the game. And I do appreciate you bringing me on and speaking with me about my experience, which was a wonderful experience. I wouldn't have traded it for anything. And, it's just been a great life for me.
Fantastic.
And the USA Volleyball team, the USA Volleyball organization, I appreciate what they do for the USA team and for the youth coming up and making sure that, they know that volleyball is a place that they can go to. It's a safe place for us. Have to work hard to get anything in life. And volleyball is one of those things that help mold that and helps you understand that working hard, it's not easy, but they help us understand that life without is good, and volleyball is a good thing for us.
Okay, so keep loving volleyball and keep this moving. Okay,
Okay,
bye bye,
will
Rose.
do.
So happy to see you. Have a nice
You
day.
too.
We'll
You
keep
too.
in touch.
Okay, thank you.